Most people using Claude Cowork have no idea what it's actually capable of. They use it for chat, maybe the occasional upload, and then they move on. But under the surface, there's an entire system of skills, connectors, plugins that turn it from a simple assistant into a full-blown production pipeline. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the whole thing end to end. I'll start by building a branded slide deck with a couple prompts. Then I'll turn it into a reusable skill. Then I'll show you how you can create plugins to bundle multiple skills together. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use Claude Cowork in a completely new way. Now for this, you will have to download the desktop version. So to find this, you're just going to come to Claude, down in the bottom left corner, get apps and extensions. You can download Claude Cowork here. So once you've done that, you can open up and you'll come to a page like this. And you'll notice at the top, you've got chat, which is standard chat, Cowork, or Claude Code, which I'll give you some hot tips at the end, but I won't go into detail for this demo. So to set this up, what you want to do first is you want to come down and select a folder. So I've got a little Claude demo folder, and then this is going to pop up and you have this always allow or allow. And what this does is Claude has to ask you permission to do a lot of things, which sometimes you want, but most of the time you really don't want it to ask you every time it wants to do a little task. So I'm just going to go always, and now I have a folder associated with this space. But as I was saying, the plan was to basically do a bit of research and then take that research and turn it into a document or presentation or some sort of resource that we can save and use later. So I have a little prompt here. Research the Gunboat 80 sailing catamaran. I want a document that has the essential information of this product, including specs, features, parts, part types, and potential setup options, and any relevant information about the builders. Also add some information in about gunboat business, brand, voice, hex, colors. So the reason I've chosen this product is just so I have something with a bit of depth. Obviously, a sailboat's got a lot of moving parts and there's generally a lot of information on that product, so I thought it would be a good one to do. Now, because we're in Cowork, it should automatically detect that I want to do research. So let's see if it actually detects that. So over to the side, as you can see, it's got progress. It's got written out 4 steps. It's made a little MD file, and this just tells Claude what's in this folder or directory and what's actually going on and what this workspace is about. So it'll update this as it goes along, but you don't have to worry about it. But as you can see, research Gunboat 80, specifications and features, research Gunboat company, brand and identity, great comprehensive Word document, verify document output. All right, and we're back. Obviously, sometimes when you're doing research, it can take a few minutes, but let's have a look at this. Gunboat 80 series, product overview, specs, construction, So as you can see, it's a pretty decent, extensive document. But let's turn this into, say, a sort of slide deck brochure. I want you to take this document and turn it into a 10-page polished slide deck brochure. Ideally optimized with Gunboat's brand colors and voice. I'm yet to provide you with images, so it's okay to use placeholder text in the position of the images for now, describing what you believe should be in each position. And let's see how that goes. Alright, took a little time, but let's have a look here. So as you can see, in just a couple prompts, this is a pretty decent little presentation. Now I can go save this to my folder. Sorry guys, I just ran into some audio issues, so I had to film this section again. But here, can you take this workflow and turn it into a skill? I want to take ideas, concepts, products, companies, and then produce the appropriate Word doc and polished presentation. And when you do that, what you're going to get is you can see a skill has been created in my project folder. So you can create as many skills as you want, and then you can even roll them together as a package, which is also called plugins in here. But before I talk about that, obviously having it research something and produce a slide deck is a very surface level way to create a skill. And to level them up, if you come down to your profile, settings, and then down to connectors, you'll be able to browse connectors and see all these applications that you can integrate with. So when you create these skills, they're not just prompts to do this and that. They're prompts that can be paired with other tools and MCPs to pull in data and do research. So as you can see here, there's Notion, Figma, N8N, Zapier, Supabase, and I think Applify. This is a good one for scraping things from the web. So the next level up would be taking some of these external integrations and tools and building them into your skills as well. Then to take this one level deeper, you can create plugins. So I got plugins up here, but you guys might not have that. So if I come back to my main page, click on the plus, come down to plugins and go manage. And you'll start with nothing on the side here. But if I go add plugin, you can browse and you're going to have these different sorts of plugins. And what these are, they're basically default templates with a bunch of skills within them. So if I come to the marketing, create content plans, analyze performance, etc. And then here are questions, but these will be for specific skills. So let me come back. And then here, if I wanted to manage my marketing skills, I can click on that. Commands, so here's all the default things that it can do. Connectors, skills, and then same thing with productivity. But what you can make your own custom group of skills and then also ask Claude to roll them into a plugin. So if you got 5 or 6 skills and they're all, let's just say, SEO based skills, you could roll that into a SEO plugin that you could pass around to different workspaces or your team. So that's a quick rundown of that. Additionally, something else I wanted to talk about was Claude Code. Now, I wasn't going to go into depth with this, but I just wanted to give you guys a rough overview of how to think about it, because I'm sure there's a lot of you that hear the word code and go, that sounds scary, I don't want anything to do with it. But if you really want to level up your workspaces, knowing how to create simple little code scripts to do things when the AI model reaches its limits or you don't have the right tool or integration that you need. So as an example, let's say you need to process 1,000 PDFs or 1,000 invoices. If you're going to ask the AI to do that, you're going to reach token limits, you're going to waste a lot of money, and you're not going to know if it's hallucinating in that process. But what you can do is get it to write a simple Python script that will process, parse, extract, or cross-reference information through all of those without using anywhere near the level of AI tokens, because the AI writes the script once, maybe a couple little corrections, and then you run it and you have that script forever. Another example might be scraping things from the web. Yes, you can use AI to do it, but once it gets to scale and you need to scrape lots of things, it no longer becomes viable. So maybe you need to make your own little code snippet to do that. Of course, there's probably tools out there to do that, but you might be able to make something up really quick without paying for another tool. And the third little use case where you might want to use Claude Code is, say you want to integrate with the application, but you can't find the application in here that you want, and you're not sure how to go about connecting it. You can get your API key from that application, and Claude can probably whip something up so you can integrate it. And now you're not relying or waiting for updates to happen so you can do something. So those are just a few really simple examples of how you can actually use Claude Code to level up your workspaces. But I'll probably do a more in-depth video later on that topic. If you guys enjoyed this video, help us out a little bit, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.